Honey, come on over here, sugar buns. This machine just called me an asshole.
And there's one of my one-liners.
One of mine as well.
I love how he says sugar buns.
Sugar buns.
Hey, welcome to Screams and Streams, the podcast that looks at the best and worst horror movies as rated on Rotten Tomatoes. From 1970 onwards, I'm your host, Chad Campbell, and with me are my co-hosts,
Sam Schreiner.
and
Mike Karen.
be sure to check us out on Instagram, our handle at ScreamStreamPod. Also, check out our website at screamsandstreams.com for more information about all the films we are looking at. Just a warning, if you don't like spoilers, we recommend that you stop listening now, check out the film, and then rejoin us for our discussion. Today we are looking at...
Why are you singing?
You're very sing-songy today.
Sorry,
Chad.
I don't know.
You're making this into a patter song.
I'm just so happy we're talking about this film.
When I watched the movie, I was very entertained.
I'm glad some of us were.
All right. I think we already know where Sam's coming from on this one, but today we are looking at Stephen King's 1986 film, Maximum Overdrive. It scored 14% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's get into it. Sam, can you give us our summary?
Absolutely. When Earth passes through the tail of a rogue comet, the machines come to life and start to kill mankind. A group of survivors is under siege from fierce trucks at the Dixie Boy truck stop gas station, and they have to fight to survive.
You got a little sing-songy there, too.
I had to.
The Dixie Boy truck stop.
The Dixie Boy truck stop.
There's our overture.
All right, and then moving into Sinister Sips, what are we drinking today there, Mike?
Today we are drinking the Old Town Road cocktail from actually Coca-ColaDrinks.com Coca-Cola Mixology. And I chose this one, but one, because they're on an old town road with that truck stop. Right. But two, it's got Coke in it in honor of Stephen King's state of mind.
Well done.
Whilst directing this film. Cheers.
Cheers,
y'all.
everybody. It's basically Jack and Coke with a little bit of bitters added to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
All right, first impression. We're going to kick this off with Sam. Sam, what's your first impression of this film?
I did not like this film. I've never seen it before. I didn't really know what it's about. The Green Goblin on the movie poster was familiar, but obviously Green Goblin. I went into it pretty blind. It took me 6 times to get to the 1 hour mark. Trying to get there. I saw there was a comet. I was thinking, oh, it's going to be alien shit. I was kind of excited, which I guess it was technically.
It's going to be
Alien shit.
But it was mostly just shit. So as soon as the cars started killing me, I was like, fuck off. Like, fuck right off.
So the whole premise of the film.
It was like 3 minutes in. I was like, come on. Seriously. 14% on Rotten Tomatoes surprises me. It should be less. I don't know. I really did not like it. I wasted part of my life. Like, I will never get that hour and a half back. And it's not even one that I can be like, at least it was only an hour and a half. It was a rough hour.
A hard ride.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So I finished it last night. And oh boy.
Last night?
Yeah, last night. Yeah, I had to I texted Mike and I was like, I'm doing it. I have to finish it tonight.
Oh, man. Well,
Yep.
that's awesome. Okay. Mike, what was your impression of this film?
So I do remember watching this as a kid at my friend's house, and I can't remember the whole movie. So then I'm starting to wonder, like, did I watch the whole thing or was it just certain clips? But I remember, the Green Goblin truck, people being run down, people running straight away from things. And just wondering like how crazy it was.
That's all the film is. It's just-
I enjoyed it. It was as a kid, it was a fun movie. Yeah, it was trucks killing people. Where's the problem in this?
Right.
so many problems.
Rewatching it for the first time in probably 30 some odd years, it was a tough go. There's problems with the acting, there's problems with the directing, and we'll get into that. But, I was along for the ride. I had fun. I did love the ridiculousness of it. There was a lot of moments when I was watching it. So not the best, but definitely not the worst we've seen. So
Sam's just looking pissed.
I was very tired when I watched it and I had a hard time staying awake, but I think that was more me than the movie. Whereas for Sam, it was the movie.
Yeah.
It was like the concept, like it's just, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I have lots to say.
We'll get into
I have
it
lots
for
of
sure.
questions.
We'll get into it for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Well, my first impression was, so I've seen this movie several times. I watched it as a kid and I loved it. I watched it as a young adult, still liked it. Watched it with my brother-in-law not too long ago, like 3 years ago. And one, we just laughed because it's laughably bad.
Yeah.
It is. It is one of those films. It's a good, bad film, I think.
Yep.
I wouldn't watch it by myself, which I did for this rendition. I was like, yeah, there's a lot of boat anchor moments here. But if you're with a buddy and you're cutting down the film as you watch, I think it's a lot more fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can take this film seriously. And if you do, God help you. But otherwise, I had a good time. It's just one of those films that you watch just to make fun of. That's what I think. But we're going to move on to Tropes Hall of Shame. And Mike, you're going to kick us off with the tropes of this film.
A couple of my tropes are kind of just low-hanging fruit. The first one is just the mechanic who wipes his head with a rag wearing overalls. Just
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I don't know.
We're really getting into this.
Literally just someone working hard and wiping their brow.
No, but
It's hot out here.
but it was that. It was that like southern mechanic or whatever rural mechanic that's sitting in the rocking chair waiting for a truck to pull up and
Right.
doing the slow walk to pump gas, wiping off the nape of his neck. They really bit into that stereotype with those guys for the whole film. So that you're both just looking at me like
There's a lot of stereotypes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. You got another one?
Yeah, my next one is the looking down the barrel of something just before it sprays in your
Oh
face.
my God. Yeah, I had
That was outrageous.
With the gas pump, like, oh, but
What's going to happen here?
As he's pushing the, oh my gosh, idiot.
yeah.
Blows in it too. He's like, woo, woo. Just an idiot. I had a couple. Well, mine were a little more broad than that. It was being trapped in a place. You're just trapped with a bunch of people and you have to learn to survive. And you have the hierarchy of the people within that area. So the asshole boss.
Right.
And, and he's just being belligerent and kind of an idiot. And then you have the worker bees. You have the fodder that kind of get killed off. And
Yeah.
so that was one of mine. And then actually I mentioned this, and this was the asshole boss. Like he calls
Yeah.
Emilio Estevez in and says, you need to punch in. And he really hits that home too, like
Oh my
that southern accent
Yeah.
and munching on that cigar. You got to punch in and work 9 hours, but I'm only going to pay you for 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he was straight out of Grissom's Rainmaker. Or
Exactly. Yeah. So those were my big two. Sam, did you have a couple?
Yeah, I also had the business owner, like the shitty asshole business owner.
Yeah.
And then people not moving out of the way of vehicles. Like the whole thing, the whole
Yeah.
movie is just people getting run over by vehicles and not one of them moves to the side. They just keep running in a straight line. You can just pivot.
Yep.
Pivot. Just move out of the way. Like it just reminded me that there was like the steamroller scene.
Pivot. Pivot. Yes, the steamroller
steamroller
scene. I
scene,
have that several of my comments.
It reminded me of like the Austin Powers. Like, no! With the hand out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just move out of the way.
I had that for a later category, but like the vending machine was the one where it's like, just approach it from the side. They can only go in one direction. They all run straight away from it.
Yeah, exactly.
My goodness.
Did you have any others, Sam?
How many fingers am I holding up? So the guy's blind from the gas
Oh,
coming out. How many fingers am I holding up? He's like actually blind, but you see that all the time. Someone gets hit on the head or
Right.
I can't see without my glasses. And then, yeah.
Yeah. Mike, did you have some?
Another one was just like the baseball game is over after the last run.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's always right at the end of the game and it's always the winning run.
Yep.
And the tires squealed, but also the hubcaps came off. When the hitchhiker and the Bible salesman veer into the parking lot, like the hubcaps always have to come off.
There's always a squeal on a dirt road.
Yep.
And they're all, the hubcaps always have to.
They always have to come off, do they?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mine was when the Bible salesman is caught in the drain and the kid finds him and he stays still for so long.
Oh, yeah.
Until he says, okay, he's dead. And then as soon as he walks away, he's like, help me. And he gets up and does that. And, the jump scare that they're trying to do. Sam, do you have any others?
Yeah, I just had one more. The new person who joins the isolated group, they have a solution to a problem that comes right away.
Oh, yeah.
So the boy joins them and he knows Morse code.
Oh, right.
I just got my badge in this.
My mirror. Yeah, that boy's wicked smart. Yeah.
And I didn't think he was going to write anything down either. I thought he was just going to listen.
The like looking away as he's concentrating. He's like, give me a pen. I can't catch up. And he's
But it's already been like tapping
For a while.
Yeah.
Like where's the start and where's the end? In that? I don't know. I do not know Morse code, so clearly.
Nor do I. Mike, did you have any others?
I just had a few others. The big one is, right, in every sort of horror movie or attack movie, it's we got to get to the island because that's a safe place.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll just finish off with the don't make me a widow on my wedding day. Sort of that trope of like high jeopardy situation when Curtis is heading out.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to add one more. I think the trope of the nagging wife.
Oh,
That whole time, she's just, Curtis, help me, Curtis. Oh my God. It's just so, don't you drop me down this hole. Now what do I'm crawling into. Oh my gosh. She was just so much.
yeah.
But just the nagging wife nonstop. And all
Actually,
right.
I did have one more.
Oh.
Sorry. No, just because it was so ridiculous. It was the Ride of the Valkyries playing during the airplane attack.
Oh.
I like that.
It's just like-
So unnecessary.
And we're now going to move on to our one-liners. So I had a couple. There weren't a lot in this film. I'm going to say there weren't a lot of like really great one-liners in this film. I didn't think. But one of them was on the trailer of the Green Goblin semi. And it was the toy trailer. And it said, "Here comes another load of joy."
I had the same one. I had the same one.
I was just like, how on earth do you do that? And then there was another one. I just wrote it down, but I didn't write who said it. But it's like, you know what gets me is the stupidity. And I can't remember who said it.
I feel like Emilio Estevez or the Hitchhiker, maybe.
I think the hitchhiker
Yeah,
said
I was
it.
going to say probably the hitchhiker. Doesn't.
Anyways, those were my first two. Sam, do you have some for us?
Yeah, first one is the nagging wife when she was like, Curtis. She goes, "Are you dead?"
Are you dead?
So yeah, I kind of liked that one. I thought it was kind of funny. Another one was the hitchhiker and like the hero guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did not waste time. There's so many characters in this film, and anyways, hero guy, main guy.
Billy, I think.
It's always fucking Billy. We could go with Billy.
Oh, if you go south, it's a Billy.
Yeah.
All right, it's Billy. We're gonna go with Billy. The hitchhiker goes, "I'll tell you one thing. You sure make love like a hero."
I had that
Why
one
are
as
we
well.
having sex right now? Like, there's a crisis. Where is the bed?
People have needs.
Why are they so turned on?
In the porn shack.
Yeah.
Like they've got all the 80s porn all up there.
I was shocked at the graphic nature of those images, to be
I know.
honest. Like, full frontal leg spread.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was big. All cut out, all nice collaged out
Yep.
there for them. Yeah. It was-
Which leads to so many questions.
Mike, did you have some?
I had sort of two, so I'm going to read them both tied together, but it's the way they talk to the waitress, where it's like, "You want to bring me a light coffee when you get done jerking on that thing, darling?"
Oh yeah.
And then, "That knife go rabbit on you, sweet thing."
Right.
Right? Like just sort of the toxic masculinity, sexism
Right.
towards her. Yeah.
I love how she's gushing blood too, and he's making like this nonchalant
needs
little cut. She needs serious medical attention. It's cut into her arm and through her foot, and he's would that go crazy on you, sweetheart? He's
Yeah.
like, what?
It's not like she dropped it and like
no,
it's like
or accidentally like cut a slice off her thumb. It is embedded in her arm and in her foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, just dumb. And then he like slaps it with a ball penis.
It's like, and then someone in the background like, get that thing.
Yeah. And it just keeps going. It's like and finally just dies. And I just, oh my Lord.
so stupid. So dumb.
The innards of the knife. You got him. Sam, do you have any others?
Yeah, I just like this one because I haven't heard it outside of The Simpsons, but eat my shorts. There were so many lines here that were like just cheesy, awful. The next one I have is also along that one too. Your ass is grass, boy. Grass.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like,
Your
come
ass
on.
is
Like, it's just like how
But
many
he
of
didn't
these
say, "And I'm
lines-
the lawnmower." Like, come on.
Yeah.
Can't do better.
Got to throw that in.
And then my last one here is, "You want to rock and roll with me, you puss bag?"
You guys had a lot of good ones. I must have glazed over this.
But it's because the whole film, I agree with your statement, though. The whole film was just like these over the top, like stereotypical phrases being tossed out.
It's Stephen King's writing in a nutshell.
Yeah.
I felt like the characters were either cartoonish or just not there.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they were very deadpan and the acting was horrible, or the characters were just so over the top that you're just like, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I would agree.
All right, Mike, do you have a couple others?
So on the note of sort of the over the topness of the lines and like Stephen King's writing style, it's when the hitchhiker and the Bible salesman are driving and she says, if you don't get your hand off my leg, you're going to be wiping your ass with a hook the next time you take a dump. Right? Like he's always got to have these sort of like weird, almost New England style things or like the hard threats. Like
Right.
just always goes that little too far. And just two more that was sort of, I guess, more serious. But I did like around the fueling conversation where the hitchhiker says, it's like Neville Chamberlain giving in to the Nazis.
Oh.
And I was just like, wow, what a great reference. But also I never got that as a kid because I didn't understand history.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That historical reference.
That reference, yeah, for sure.
It's the seeding of Czechoslovakia prior to World War II.
It's very specific for the like general theme of this film.
And then I did like the line where Emilio Estevez is like, they don't understand how it is to get tired, how it is for a man to get tired. I actually, it was the only well-delivered line in the whole film, I think. Sam's shaking her head.
I'm just saying, I don't even think it was that well delivered.
In the film.
Oh man! And when they walk him back, like they show the blisters on his hands.
I was like,
and they're
how-
walking him back, and
Yeah.
he's just like, "Oh, I'm so exhausted." It's like they have 20 people in that diner. Why aren't you doing regular shifts?
And you're pumping, I'm sorry, like you're pumping gas. I get it was hot. I was like, but in my notes, it's like, why are they so fatigued?
Get some gloves.
Plus, but they've established with the first guy checking the pump and spraying himself in the face, it does lock in the on position. Because he has to unlock it to get it to stop.
That's right.
So he just has to like put it in
Yeah.
and stand there.
And
Is it
stand
that
there.
hard? I don't know. And it wasn't like days of it. Like it was quite a long montage, but it was not days.
Because every truck in the world is coming to this one gas
Gas
station to get gas.
They wasted their entire tank to get there, to
get
fill
there.
their tank.
And like these trucks are just being dumb. They're just circling this. Why don't you just stay put and then just because people aren't leaving,
Yeah.
so you just stay put there. Why are you wasting your only source?
They're also running while they're in line waiting for gas.
But also, can't they just run like without the gas, or can they just find new trucks?
No, the
Or-
aliens can't figure that out.
They-
I guess.
okay.
Yeah, they have to run on it.
Okay.
Okay. I hope I didn't step on anybody's like categories by doing that.
Goes
by
right
chatting
into
about
what
that.
doesn't hold up. 'Cause I
Yes.
got lots of these.
So we're gonna move into what doesn't hold up. Sam has 17.
I'm cutting them down. I'm cutting them.
So park yourself. We're gonna be here for a while. It was
This is now the Sam show.
One for every, 4 minutes of film?
That's and this does and this and this and this. All right, Sam, kick us off. What doesn't hold up for you? Only 2 for this one.
Okay, I'll hold back a little bit. Okay, why are not all the machines in cars impacted? It's selective.
It's very inconsistent.
And then how come some of them know Morse code, and like do the aliens know English language to know fuck you and asshole, because they put that in the machines, but then they only know Morse code for the rest? Like
Right.
they could have like gone through the like I'm thinking like Transformers, like how Bumblebee can speak through the radio, like
Right.
do something cool. But yeah, so that's one. How much gas is there in a gas station at any given time? Because I feel like there was a lot of gas in that one.
Well, they did have to
They had to
refill.
refill.
I know they did, but they still went through so
Yeah.
many, and they're so fatigued. He's sweating. He's like, oh, and he's faint as he's going around. I don't know. I feel like that was crazy.
Mike, do you have a couple?
At the start of the film, when I was a more pie-eyed optimist about the quality, I wrote the bridge workers acting. And then
yeah.
at the beginning of the movie, I was like, oh God, it's like, he's terrible. And then for the rest of compared to the rest of the film, he's on point with every other actor. But he's like, that's impossible. The light's green and the bars didn't come down. Ah. Like,
Yeah.
and then just the way he berates his coworker, just, oh my God.
Right.
And then the film continued, and I was like, I don't even know if I need to mention this because it's just the acting in general.
In general is all this, yeah.
And then the other one, this was almost going to be hiding in the shadows, but I put it in doesn't hold up. But it's when the kid scores at home plate, all the boys rush out of the dugout to celebrate, and the coach like throws down his clipboards like, I'll buy sodas. It's like, so he's mad they won. Like he did not look overjoyed. They just won the
Right.
game. Yeah.
He's probably pissed off because he has to buy sodas.
Yeah, true.
Why does he have to buy sodas?
I don't know. Usually
was on snack
you
duty that
celebrate. Yes. Where are the orange slices? Like, let's go.
Granola bars,
Where are the-
juice
there's
boxes.
no parents watching this film, by the way. Like, it just seems
game.
like, yeah, the game. Yeah, they're like the coach is the only one there, and he's like, I'm gonna foot the bill here. I guess all these kids that are playing. I had a couple. My first big one was the bridge scene. So there's a part where the car hits another car and this lady instantaneously falls through the windshield. Like just boom bang. It's
I
and
cheered.
just this lump of like blonde hair just like through the it's like, what the hell? Like that windshield had no protection
It's
whatsoever.
like it was going 100 into that
Yeah,
crash.
and it just like ever slow, like an old man getting into a warm bath, just like kaboom. Anyways, that was my first one. Another one was on the bridge scene, the biker that falls down into the lake.
Oh, he was
or to the-
amazing.
He's like, it's like Tarzan muffled falling into the. It was so stupid.
So good.
I had that whole like scene like
Oh, it
with
was
the watermelons.
crazy.
And I had that
The
in
watermelons,
the
yes.
watermelons. Why are there so many fucking
So many a whole truck full of watermelons.
Smashing through the windows of only one car. And then
People are
the guy
slipping
falls
in
into
them.
him.
Yeah.
Can't get out. I had that in my like most gratuitous was that whole scene.
Oh,
Like,
it was
just
so crazy. Just utter chaos. I got like midway through and it was, this bridge scene is insane. Like I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it. And my other one was I wasn't quite sure why they were shooting rocket launchers at semis and blowing them up in a gas station, like next to gas pumps. Isn't that gonna blow up the whole part?
one of my 17 points. is
There's no danger. Like, we're not. He's just like, come on, boys. And he shoots this rocket launcher. I was like, whoa, that was dangerously close to the gas.
I had that one because it's like, isn't it like something like 15 to 20 feet behind those things basically get burned out from
Yes.
this?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's right in the doorway with everyone watching.
Everyone's right behind him, and it's just. And they're holding these missiles like they're just Roman candles.
He stuffs one in his pocket. Like, I'll save that for later.
Yeah. Very nonchalant with the explosives. That's what I thought. Sam, give us a couple more, please.
On that note, why is he like an arms dealer? Like why is the gas station?
Got all. I guess this is what he does. He buys stuff.
Buys it on the cheap and sells
Yeah.
it for profit.
Yeah,
Yes.
but like
As part of the
there's-
Montana militia.
it's honestly insanity. Like the amount of guns, and he just pulls out the fucking giant one and starts blowing shit up.
Well, my question was, why does he want people to know? Wouldn't the first thing you do is go down there and get all the guns and like, hey, let's get rid of these things? But instead he's like, you don't tell anybody about this. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like, you have a whole army basically right
Yeah.
here. If everybody takes a point, there's no strategy.
But then my other point on that, so it's like
Would you trust Wanda with a grenade?
Yeah. No. We made you.
we made you.
I have notes about that one later.
I do as well. And on that too, I had the wagon that rolls up. So, okay, this is a series of things. So first it starts with, why don't the aliens just use military vehicles?
Right.
And then just that would, I think, be easier or have more of them because it's all just semi-trucks and cars. And then they bring in the construction. And then the weird, out of all of the military vehicles, they bring out the wagon with a gun.
Yeah, just the one
I was
gun
like,
on the top.
"What?" And then so on top of that,
Not a tank.
no, not a fucking tank or anything. Just like, I was like, what is that? It's not even like an armored.
It looks like a dinky toy when it's coming down the highway.
with the
I was like, what is that? It's like,
but with like a squeaking wheel. Like
Yes.
it looks like a wagon.
Almost like it's on the train tracks. You have to pump it to make it go.
It was, and so, but then that gun can shoot.
Yeah.
And then why don't the aliens just get the guns that are in the weapon arsenal downstairs?
there's
and
no
then get,
rhyme or reason to this.
Okay, so 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 where are the other military
Magic,
vehicles?
Harry Potter. It's magic. I don't know.
Dumbledore magicked the tray across the room. That's a line in one of the novels. Dumbledore magicked the tray across the room.
That's what all of the answers are going to be to my list
That's
here.
right.
It magic.
It was the comment, and it magicked shit.
Sam, it magicked.
Oh fuck.
Okay, my next one. They already wasted all the gas doing circles because their whole point is to exterminate mankind. Correct?
I guess.
We think we don't know. The one guy came to that conclusion at some point.
Yeah, they're the broom.
The broom, and he was just, it just came to him. But so they're trying to kill them, and then they waste all that gas going around and around and around. Why didn't they just ram into the gas station like the whole time? It wasn't until the construction vehicle.
Oh, I have that note as well.
But any of those semi trucks could have gone right through and just killed them. Like, said they're just circling outside.
Maybe, I don't know. They didn't figure out till later.
Magicked. Magicked. They didn't want to magic. I don't know.
They didn't figure out till later that they needed them.
But then they wasted all the gas.
Yeah. And then they're like, oh shit, I guess we need these guys.
Were they waiting for the guy who knows Morse code? They were waiting. They're waiting for the
kid. They were waiting for Billy to get over there.
They're waiting for the wagon.
The other Billy. I don't know.
They're all named Billy in my mind.
That stupid hamburger, human's hair.
Oh. And then they waste all their bullets on a fast food
They
ticket.
shoot that stupid thing, and then he's like, that's for my dad. I don't want this anymore.
Done. Mic drop.
You killed one thing, you loser.
A drive-through window that can't harm anyone?
Got you.
Stupid.
Okay. Mike, you have a couple others?
I've already talked about it, but Yeardley Smith's acting.
Oh, yes.
Holy shit. I don't even know if we need to go on this, but she was so annoying. It makes me hate Lisa Simpson. I'm just done. But she just...
That's the waitress?
No, Yeardley Smith is Connie or whatever, the
wife.
The newlywed, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She was just... Yeah, we've harped on that enough. And then the other one was the shoehorning of a love story. Right? There's always got to be a love story, but it's the hitchhiker is getting emotional, and Emilio Estevez is like, if I put my arm around you, would you stick me with that thing? Yeah. And then there's this sensuous, slow blues music playing. It's like, why? Why do we have to fit this in?
I know.
Yeah. And then it just turns into love fest for everyone that has a partner, apparently.
My question about that is Emilio Estevez has been in prison, correct?
Yeah.
So he says, would you stick me with that thing? And she says, you don't stick anybody with a straight razor. It's more like a slice. It's like, wouldn't he fucking know that? Like, he's been in prison. I'm sure there were shanks where he was.
Shanks and shivs.
Like, I don't know. But she has to explain to him how a straight razor works. That was one of mine. I didn't.
Did that happen before or after he tells his life story of like, I was young. I was like, no one cares.
But it's because Bubba's like, did he tell you about where he comes from?
Yeah.
Like, really? She's going to care at this point?
She's already bedded him 3 times. Like, I'm not sure she's really worried about past histories at this moment. Everyone thinks they're going to die. Like, who cares?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that was one of mine. And just the acting in general was pretty subpar.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was either really, really cartoonish or just non-existent. That whole waitress, we made you. There's one part where she comes out there screaming and yelling, and it looks like her eyes are crossed. Like she's just losing her mind. And the way she stands and moves, it was just we made you. Yeah. We made you. And she does it twice. Yeah. So she does it the first time and loses her mind, and they bring her back in. She does it the second time after that, dinky toy has shot up the whole diner. Mm-hmm. And she comes out, and what did you think was going to happen? That he was going to be like, yeah, you're right. I guess you made us, so I'll let you go. All right. So it just picks her off. Anyways, the acting was subpar, and some of the special effects just didn't hold up as well, because we've mentioned this before where the kid gets crushed by the roller. It looks like an inflatable mannequin, like when it's rolling over him, and it's just like it's like, okay, well, that's all right. But I have that later on, and when I was like, wow, they really killed that kid.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Sam, do you have any others?
Why are the pop cans being launched out of the machine? There's no launching mechanism in it. So they just drop. Wouldn't they just all fall out of the machine? Like they just all fall down.
Magicked.
It magicked.
You didn't see they have these 2 little holes there, and you can see them when it's pumping out the sodas. It's just
Like straight out of a potato gun.
it really looks like that. Yeah. And why does the guy, like, he gets hit
In the nuts.
So why not roll out of the way instead of like be there looking right into the fucking projectile? I don't know. There's a lot of questions. Go ahead, Sam.
The blood spatter on the vehicles was in weird places. There's some like on the back of the mud flaps, some like all the way up on the doors. Like no one's hitting the top of the semi-truck.
Well, that's why I love when the Green Goblin backs into Bubba and knocks him into the culvert or whatever.
Right.
The blood, it goes all the way up the back door.
Oh.
So bad. It's so bad. The blood placement is awful. So this is another magicked, but he was just laying in bed and the answer about everything going on just comes to him. Okay. Like
That's what happens when you have good sex with a
With a hero.
You just start thinking. I don't know.
Why is it a love story? You already talked about. The ending was fucking weird. It was a huge cop out, I thought, so I didn't think it held up. Like, not the fact that they made it to the like island or onto the boat to get to the island, but conveniently the UFO was found and they shot it down. Or
It
whatever.
was pretty anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why then are the aliens not controlling the satellites? I feel like they could do more shit from space. Anyways, so that was another one. The only saving grace about that was that they said that, oh, well, we're in the comet stream or whatever for 7 days. And it was day 1 or 2. And I was like, fuck, there's 7 more days until it's over. So when it was shot down, I was like, thank God.
I do agree about going to the island, but then you got to think at that time when they left, they were how many days in?
Two. Maybe one. How many? I don't know how many nights they spent.
It was probably the second
How long
day.
do you think it took those guys to get to the island with no food and no water and just
It's only it's
I
6
had
miles
that.
off the coast. It's only 6 miles.
6 miles off the coast?
6 miles. But I was like, why aren't they bringing snacks? Like, they're not prepared for this trip.
They're in a diner. They got nothing but guns. I actually took a picture.
They were eating pretty consistently, so maybe they just ate all the food.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Like, that was one thing. I was always like, looks like they're having sandwiches. Now there's cake.
I did see a
big old
donut that
party.
looked really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the end of this because I wanted to get it because I took a picture of it and I was like, 2 days after, a large UFO was destroyed in space by a Russian weather satellite, which happened to be equipped with a laser cannon and a Class 4 nuclear missile. Approximately 6 days later, the Earth passed beyond the tail of the Rhea M, exactly as predicted. The survivors of the Dixie Boy.
How convenient.
Are, are still survivors, by the way.
That's why I was saying, why don't the aliens just control the satellite? Because it's got a fucking laser beam.
Yeah, and nuclear missiles, apparently.
Like, come on.
Well, this was in my shadows because, like, at some points it's the machines took over. At other points, it's the invisible aliens. Allegedly, that's why there's growling noises.
Oh,
Apparently, that's what I read. But then it goes to the vending machine. Like, I understand there's invisible aliens driving cars and running down people and lawnmowers and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's invisible aliens, like what, like blowing into the tube, like like spitballs.
I want to see the behind the scenes of that. These aliens is.
But then it comes to calls to question the knife or even the pinball machine. So they were clearly inside the diner if it is the invisible alien theory. But then like some invisible aliens like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the bank and be like, fuck you, asshole.
Yeah.
The only 2 words.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. I did have one more. It just reminded me when the Big Mac truck that's hunting down the newlywed couple goes over that ridge. The fire starts below the truck and it just explodes. It reminds me of The Simpsons where it comes very slowly to a post and then just like blows up. There was no reason for that thing to blow up. So. No. Just special effects were crazy.
The one kind of funny thing, I didn't know about the invisible aliens. I don't know if that makes it better or worse, but I didn't hear the growling noises over the AC/DC blasting. But yeah, no, I didn't get any growling noises. But why were the sprinklers going off?
Just for eeriness, I guess.
That's not eerie at all. That's
But
water the grass.
They turned off before he turned around.
Yeah.
So
Ridiculous.
stupid. And that's not an electronic. That's just a valve.
That's a valve.
It's a valve.
It's a rich neighborhood. They have timers.
Oh,
I don't know.
that's got to be it. Got to be it.
Okay, I think we've spent a lot of time on what doesn't hold up. So let's move along to most gratuitous scenes. So, Mike, you're going to kick us off with this one.
My first one we kind of already talked about, but it's the amount of pictures of naked women on the wall by the mechanic's bed. And like I said, it raises so many questions. You only use those pictures for one thing. So it's like, I'm just going to go for a break in the bunk. Like, nobody wants to know or needs to know that.
And like going in there, like having sex in there, like going in there and being like, this looks like a great spot. And I doubt those sheets are getting washed.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah.
Any others, Mike?
Just the head wound on the coach from the soda can.
Oh, yeah, that sucker was good.
Just a full-on, like, I don't know, lesion or something.
Yeah,
It just ripped the skin right off. It was great.
Super latex right on top. Yeah. It was a gooder. My most gratuitous was the kid getting smashed. I put that, whoa, they really killed that kid.
Yeah.
And then my other one was, I thought it was hilarious that they put in Sink the Pink from AC/DC with a picture of the Last Supper, right? On that jukebox. And then it just pads down. I was like, whoa, what are they doing here? So those were my two. Sam, did you have any?
So I had the whole beginning of the film scene and then the screaming in that scene too. So just the bridge scene, I thought it was over the top. It was too much. Also the accents, the Southern accents were so, and the weird quotes. We already talked about it, so we don't need to go into detail, but those two were awful.
Inconsistent, up and down.
Up and down, and so over the top. It was brutal.
Mike, do you have any more?
The last one I had was the masculinity / violence, where everyone's just quick to be angry or threaten. And it's like, I'll knock your teeth in, and like, you don't do this or I'll do that. But the one that made me laugh, I hate to say it, is when the Bible salesman like jumps up, shoves Wanda's like, out of the way, bitch. Like it just comes out of nowhere.
Out of the way. Yeah, I love how the worst guy was the Bible salesman.
Yeah.
Just boxes of Bibles in the Chevette that he's like driving around, and just ridiculous.
And why would they save him? I'm sorry, there's no way I'd go out for that guy in the ditch.
No, they're like, oh, it's the Bibles. He's like, help me. And
he was like a total dick to everyone.
We got to get him.
Yeah.
Like, no, we don't.
We don't absolutely do not have to get him.
So now we're moving into terrifying or titillating. Mike, go ahead.
My terrifying or titillating comment is a conversation between Curtis and Connie where she's like, when we get there, I got to go to the ladies. And he says, can I come in and watch?
Oh,
Like, just gross.
that's right.
I forgot about that.
I forgot about that.
Like,
too.
we're married now, so I'm about to
don't
show you a
share.
side of me you didn't know.
Anything. Yeah. I actually don't have one. So
Okay.
I also didn't have anything. There's nothing less arousing to me than semi-trucks. So there's nothing titillating.
ooh, this really gets my motor running. Okay. So as we've like totally shat on this film on the way out, what stood the test of time for us? I did think that some of the special effects were okay. Like when the knife went into, even though the knife thing was kind of stupid, when it went into her arm and the blood was squirting out and stuff, I thought the blood didn't look awful.
Yeah.
So I thought that was okay. The effects of the people that got, kind of mangled, even though it was ridiculous how it happened, I thought those effects still kind of looked okay. So those were my things. It's like some things passed as far as that goes. The blood bags that exploded when they all get shot up, I thought those worked.
The squibs, yeah, they were good.
Sam, did you have any?
Yeah, I also had the blood as well. I liked how creative they were with some of the deaths as well. So it wasn't all semi-trucks. It was mostly semi-trucks. There's a lot of semi-trucks. But there was the guy with the Walkman or like with the headphones that died.
Oh, right.
There was the lady out the window, the car window as well, dangling there. The lawnmower.
Yes.
So they were kind of creative with some of those. But for the most part, it was just people getting run over by semi-trucks.
I love the woman with the hairdryer around her cord, like leaning out the second floor of the
window?
house.
Yes.
Because like I just imagine the struggle of like fighting off this like mad hairdryer.
Coming at you.
So stupid.
So good.
Mike, did you have some?
Mine we've all talked about, so I'm just gonna list a couple. Just the sign saying "fuck you." I did like that, and the kid getting run over by the steamroller was a check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on, we're going to go to eerie to ear splitting. Sam, you said you had a few for this one?
Yep, the screaming at the beginning was super ear-splitting to me, and the accents, which we already kind of talked about there. And then something that was good, it's not super eerie, but I did like the AC/DC. It just like fit semi-trucks running people over, so I did like that.
When that opening credit starts and Who May Who started, I was just like, oh, so good.
Yeah.
It's pretty wicked, yeah.
Yeah, even my husband was like, oh, they don't put good music in movies anymore. And so, yeah.
I legitimately backed it up and turned it up just for like that.
Just
like,
that section.
That coming in, yeah.
I did not.
Mike?
I intentionally wrote this way, but the moist sounds of Joey shitting was ear-splitting to me.
Oh, and then Emilio Estevez looks over the thing to say, it's like, what do you think he's doing in there? Like he's reading a magazine of high society.
But every line or every cut to Joey is like preceded by the sound of either a plop into water or a wet fart. It's just so gross.
God.
That made me gag.
Yeah.
Gross.
That's why I wrote it that way.
We've already talked about mine. I had AC/DC. I love AC/DC and that album. Mm-hmm. And so anytime it fired up, I was like, this is good. I really like that. Ear splitting was the waitress when she was, we made you. And she got out there and did her whole thing. She just really tried to chew up the scenery there. And it was just too much. And her voice just was like, oh, just shut up. Yeah. Like, I'm just done with you. Okay. And then moving on, we'll go to our what the fuck moment. Mike's going to kick us off with that one. Mike, what was your what the fuck for this film?
So my what the fuck was, I could have said it in the eerie to ear splitting, but it was the chop, 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 or like the sound when they attacked. Were they going for like the kill, kill, kill of Jason? But then it was like, neither of you know.
When was this?
Almost every time someone died.
Really?
It was like chop, 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 chop. And it was like, is it AC/DC singing the word chop over and over again? Is it guitars? Just didn't get what it was. Why?
I thought it was his attempt for Psycho. Like, I thought it was guitars, and it was his attempt to like kind of get that kind of feeling for that.
Okay.
So that's what I chalked it up to. I didn't spend too much time thinking about it, but that's immediately what I thought when I heard it.
Okay.
So I know what you're talking about now. But yeah, I was, it's his lame attempt at Hitchcock.
Okay. Well, then it still stands with what the fuck. Because what the fuck was he thinking?
Sam, did you have some?
It was the ending. What the fuck? The laser beam on a weather satellite that also has nukes on it. I was like, what the fuck? Come on.
Mine was the whole premise of the film was like, what the fuck is this even? You got trapped in the tail of a comet, and now everything's trying to kill you for 8 days. You're going to be in this area. And then my other one was the pop machine. It was just like you said, I was like, that's not how pop machines work. Why is it shooting so aggressively? It's like usually they just drop, or in the old days, you just open the thing and you grabbed it out of the hole. It didn't ever shoot at you.
There's no launching mechanism. It's magic, though.
So, magicked.
Yeah, magicked.
So that was those were my two. Mike, did you have any others?
Yeah, I have the scene. It's when Emilio Estevez and the hitchhiker are sitting there talking, and then he like touches her forehead and then licks his finger.
Yes.
And then he's literally picking the sweat off of her hairline.
That was so gross.
I had a note about that. I was like, why is he grooming her? Like, why?
Like apes. Like, you got lice.
I know, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, what is happening? Yeah. That's a good one.
And then my last one is, did the guy in the green shirt sleep through everything up to the point where he crashes through the doors?
That was hilarious. I was like, why is he coming there so aggressively?
What the fuck is going on here?
All the glass shatters. It was like, whoa.
And then he gets owned right after that, which is awesome.
It's like, what an entrance. Okay, so with that, we're going to go into our back it up moments. Mike, why don't you kick us off with this one?
This happens to me so often where it gets shit on, and I'm like, I don't want to mention it. I liked the bridge scene just for how, not like, oh, that was great. It was just so much fun. There were so many like yell out moments and like, oh my God, holy shit. It's hilarious. So that's my back it up scene. Cause it was just,
well, I thought it was funny. Yeah. It was like really over the top, but yeah, I mean, you have to shit on it because my God, like there's so much going on.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was fun. It was just kind of ridiculous.
Terribly bad.
Too. Yeah. My back it up mine's actually comical. Emilio Estevez couldn't untie the knot.
Oh yeah.
At the boat. What a fucking moron. He gets up there and he's like, asks the woman to give him a straight razor, and the rope is like really fucking thick. And he's
do that
just
for a
sitting
while.
there for days as he's like trying to slice this rope. And I just, oh man. So I actually backed that up.
I also understand why they kept calling it Mama's Little Helper, because isn't that like drugs or Valium or Xanax? Isn't that the whole point? Isn't there a song like Mama's Little Helper is all about like pills to get through being...
Well, that might be a Stephen King thing,
okay.
right? Because he was loaded for bear at that time, right?
Right, yeah.
All right, so now we're going to move on to hiding in the shadows. I think, Mike, you have a few hiding in the shadows. Going to kick us off?
My first one was just sort of like a weird question that popped in my head is like, is Stephen King trying to look like Hunter S. Thompson in his cameo with like that weird hat, those sunglasses? Yeah, it was just
Maybe.
too odd. And it was just like, you were really, especially back then at that point in his career, is like, I'm up there with Hunter S. Thompson. It's like,
Right.
no, you're not.
Yeah.
This one, I didn't know where to put it, but Wanda and Hendershot fucked, right? You caught that? So
Sorry, who's like
Sorry,
his
yeah.
character
The
names
boss.
are
Wanda's
the
boss.
waitress.
Wanda and Bubba.
Oh,
Because they're in the scene where like Emilio and the hitchhiker have,
yeah.
the newlywed did, like she was giving him a handy under the table at
That
one
was
point.
so
That's
weird. In the
right.
corner.
That was
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Gross.
But in the morning, they come out from the back and he's buckling his belt and she's pulling her top back on.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
like you got to do what you got to do. I guess. Like,
Well, wasn't she on the work release program as well? There were so many people that were on the work.
Oh, maybe.
And so he was probably like, you need to do this or I'm going to send you back to prison. But at that point, if you're getting attacked by aliens and you may not get out alive, it's like, fuck you. I'm not doing that. Like,
Oh, I thought it was like,
I thought it was going to be the other way.
yeah. At that
Why
point, I mean,
not
the
just-
aliens are there. You're not going to get alive. May as well sleep
Well,
with
unless-
the dirtbag.
Yeah, unless you really like it. But yeah, I don't know. I think she was on that program as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because he keeps trying to get, I just remember his real name, Emilio.
Yeah, I don't know.
He just keeps trying to get him to do stuff because I'm going to send you right back. You're done.
Yeah.
You're done. Right. So that's his leverage on everybody he works for. So that's where I think that came from.
Oh, okay.
Sam, did you have any?
No.
I think Sam has exhausted her desire to talk about this movie.
This film. I think we need to wrap her up quick. Mike, did you have any others?
No.
Okay. All right, now we're going to go into our bonus features where we do research on the film. So, Sam, can you kick us off with some of yours?
Yeah, we've already talked that Stephen King was on hella drugs. But I really like, so it was his one movie that he's directed. And then when he was asked why he hasn't directed a movie since this one, he responded, just watch Maximum Overdrive.
I heard that too.
So
yeah.
I like that.
I had one just to piggyback off that one. It's Stephen King later admitted that he was coked out of my mind during the production and often didn't know what he was doing. He remarked that he'd like to try directing sober someday. Mike?
Emilio Estevez called the film the one he regrets doing the most in his career. He's also said,
Really? Mighty Ducks isn't in there?
I guess, quack, 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 quack.
I like Mighty Ducks.
Oh, Boo Earns. Go ahead.
He has also said that his mother literally asked him why he did it. And when he answered that it was a chance to work with King, she shot back with, couldn't you have helped him paint his house?
Nice. Sam?
A cinematographer actually lost his eye on set. He ended up suing for negligence. It was from the lawnmower, and he wanted the blades removed from the lawnmower. They ended up settling outside of court.
Yeah.
I thought this was kind of interesting. It was long rumored that George Romero's ghost directed a large portion of the film while King was seeking treatment for his cocaine addiction. Many fans of Romero's work have noted that the film features many of his distinct camera angles and editing choices. While King has never admitted this, he has mentioned that Romero was constantly on set and King would frequently ask him for advice about directing.
Interesting.
Mike?
So just a couple of casting things. Stephen King wanted Bruce Springsteen to play the lead.
Oh, please.
And I guess it got very contentious between him and Dino De Laurentiis. And De Laurentiis is basically like, who the hell is that? And so Roberto Croce, who is the translator for the Italian crew, thinks that De Laurentiis hiring Emilio Estevez and refusing to get Springsteen was like a breaking point for Stephen King.
Oh.
And he just didn't care about the movie after that point.
Really?
Yeah, but in the quote, he does say, but this is just my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. The original scripted ending had the Dixie Boy survivors deal with one last obstacle before escaping: a machine gun mounted Coast Guard boat.
Fuck off.
There was also to be one last shot of the city of Wilmington being destroyed by the machines, rumored to have been done through a matte painting.
And one of my questions actually was about, because it obviously cut off before we saw their trip to the island. But I was like, isn't there just going to be a bunch of boats trying to kill them? So I was like, is that, and I think, is there a second one? No, there's not a second one, is there?
No.
Oh, okay, but that would be a cool little.
Maximum or Overdrive.
Oh my God.
Maximumer.
Stephen King convinced AC/DC to do the music for this by singing one of their songs back to them in its entirety.
Yes,
there's
I heard
nothing
that, yeah.
I want to see more
Than
than
that,
that. Just like silence. I want to know how the whole thing happened because.
Did he like count out the instrumental?
And the secondhand embarrassment with nothing. Was there a background? Was the track playing in the back? Was
Right.
it just silence? And he just went, I need to see it.
We've talked about the steamroller scene quite a bit. Originally, the crew set up a blood gag next to a mannequin head for the steamroller to run over, intending only to leave a smear of blood behind. And it was supposed to like repeat across the grass as the steamroller drove off. But instead, the mannequin head exploded into a mess of fake gore. King and company loved the effect, but censors forced them to cut it from the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it would have been so good.
Would have been great.
awesome.
Yeah. I just have one kind of interesting thing. Giancarlo Esposito played the video player, the guy that gets
Oh,
electrocuted.
yeah. He's,
Gus Fring from
Yes.
Breaking Bad.
yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
Little cameo.
Yeah.
And lastly, financially, budget of 9 million, box office of 7.4.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Can't win 'em
Yeah,
all.
yeah, that's right. Sorry, Stephen King. All right. Watchability scale. We're going to kick this off. Sam, what's your watchability?
1. I hated this film. All it did is remind me, I like boys in monster trucks. Like go and watch monster trucks, like go, like smushing things. I don't know. I give it a 1. I think you're right, Chad, when you said that it was great to watch with other people. I watched it by myself, subtitles on, kids were sleeping upstairs. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just, I was kind of like, oh my God, this is so stupid. So because of that, 1.
Mike?
I'm a 3.
Boo.
I mean, it is not great. It's definitely don't watch alone, but it's fun. It's fun. It's stupid. It's definitely a kind of thing that you'd watch with people and just have a blast laughing at. So
Yeah.
it's a 3 in that context.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Chad, you've seen it 4 times,
I'm
ladies and
super
gentlemen.
generous. I gave it a 4. I mean, it's below pass. I wouldn't go, actively seek it out and rent it on my own. If you're just going to have fun with your buddies and play it at a party, I think that's what you're going for. I just laughed a lot in it, I guess. Even on my own, I was just like, oh, this is so ridiculous.
I was shouting out
I
loud.
was just like, oh my gosh. And the bridge scene, even though, Mike mentioned that was one of his favorite parts of the film, as soon as it hit and that woman came through the windshield, I was just, oh my God, this is amazing.
It's great. It's great. Yeah.
So there were moments where it just kind of, and because I watched it as a kid, I had the nostalgia feel to it. So I was just like, I'll give it a break. So I gave it a 4 out of 10. Probably pretty loosey-goosey, but usually I'm pretty hard on some of these films. So. But no.
Still won't get Halloween the 10.
I still won't give Halloween a 10. No. So anyways, that wraps us up for Maximum Overdrive.
Thank God.
Thank you very much for listening to us. Remember to follow us on Instagram. We are at ScreamStreamPod. Stop by our website, screamstreams.com, where we have information about our episodes, descriptions of our categories, links to our research, our watchability scale, and a page where you can recommend movies you want us to discuss. Please rate, comment on, and subscribe to our show on any of the platforms where you get your podcasts. Until next time, this has been Chad and
Sam.
and
Mike.
scare you later.